Yeah, I can't start the Zoom from my laptop anymore. Somehow I got logged out. I've logged in 9 times and it will not start a Zoom from my laptop. So I have to do it on my phone, throw my phone in the other room, and I'm having all kinds of fun out here.
We live outside Yosemite National Park. We know all about having to get creative with internet issues and stuff. We get it. Welcome to the Now podcast, Make Moves in Real Estate, episode 28. Oh, is it 29? 28, maybe 28. 28 or 29.
28.
Gabby was 27. So this
It's
happens
like
all the
it's like how old I am. I'm never sure quite how old I am, right?
Yeah. Right? Yeah. 20,
How old are
21.
we? Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
All right. So we got Brent Gove. He's been selling real estate in the Sacramento area since 1997, following in the footsteps of his parents with over 4,000 homes sold and a history as the number
That's
11
right.
wide agent at Remax, a leader at Keller Williams. Now with eXp Realty, he's a world traveler, in-demand speaker, author of Momentum, a guide for becoming a top agent. Super passionate about teaching agents to building lasting organizations, leading a team of over 20,000 agents, I believe.
Yeah,
Brent's
it's
great.
45,000 now.
Whoa, we're way off. Way off.
45,000.
Oh
Oh
my.
yeah, it's crazy. Nobody's surprised that my mom, but yeah, I'm shocked too. That's why my shirt says build and not sell. You know,
Right?
you got to build the future. But keep going. You were doing good. I was enjoying the write up.
Well, we pulled it from your online bio and it said 11,000. And then Knew that was off. he looked at the Think Bigger podcast, it said 20. And so we were like over 20. We didn't know 45. So here we go. But before we get into
Yeah.
it, let's not negate your biggest achievement, being married to your wife. How many years now? 34 years?
This next month we're flying to Fiji and celebrating 34 years.
Dude, from his 1% club meeting, I think you referenced it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Welcome, Brent.
In the house.
Bring it.
It wasn't easy. She took her 19 years to train me, but she did it. Yes, baby, whatever you want. That's how we roll now.
Right? Also, there's still hope for our husbands.
There you go.
Like
That might be discouraging if someone's newly married, like 2-3 years in. Hey, in 16, 17 years, everything will be just fine.
yeah.
Yours is pretty good.
Yeah.
Mine's
Yeah.
pretty good too, actually.
Yeah. You just gotta wear them down.
Yeah. I'm tough. It took her 19 years to wear me down, but I'm on board. I'm on the Kathy ship. We're good.
Awesome. Well, let's get into it because you are incredible.
Okay.
I mean, we have had the opportunity to meet you multiple times, see you speak, and you are nothing short of just a remarkable human being, number one, and just an infectious source of optimism. I think, given the circumstances around the NAR settlement, what can you tell our listeners in terms of how your perspective on things?
Absolutely. So you can be fearful or bold. I recommend bold. There's 2 great reasons you should be nothing but excited about this. 3. Number 1, all the weak agents who do a deal or 2 a year and they kind of, they'll do a deal for their sister, their aunt, their uncle, their grandma, or the grandpa, or whoever, and that's cool. But you would have had that business. They're all going to go away. They literally won't know how to survive in this business. And so there'll be more business for the people who want to make this a profession, not a hobby, not a lemonade stand. They want to give professional level service. And I know the aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas and moms and dads want to be nice to their niece or nephew. But the truth is they're risking their number one asset of their life. If you want to be nice to your nephew, take him to lunch. If you want to be nice to your niece, buy some books for college. Having them sell your number one financial asset is a big mistake. So that's number one. There's 3 reasons I added that. That was a last minute addition there. But The two main reasons are this. The big NAR thing says we want you to negotiate with the seller. I've been doing this almost 30 years. That was not possible. If you negotiated with the seller and they weren't your client, it was Coldwell Banker's client, Remax's listing, Century 21's listing, you weren't allowed to negotiate with the seller. If you did and you were caught, it was an ethics violation. And you get so many of those, you can get kicked out of the board. You get kicked out of the board, you're out of business. And so now the whole thing was, we insist that you negotiate with the seller. So now you have to negotiate your commission. It's like, well, shoot, I kind of like just getting what they gave me, like whether it was 2%, 2.25%, 2.5%, 3.75%, 3%. And if you get a 3%er, you're like, oh my gosh, it's 3%. Back when I got real estate before these two were born, everything was 3%. Sometimes we saw 3.5% or 4%, and it's been a race to the bottom, a slow race, right? And now it's in most MLSs, the commission's 2.5%. Sometimes you see 1.5%, 2%. Now you get to negotiate with the seller. And what that looks like, you guys, is you're gonna call Courtney here, for example, and say, hey, Courtney, is your seller, because they're not allowed to put it in the MLS anymore. Hey, you get that beautiful listing for $700,000 in the foothills. Is your seller cooperating? I don't know. I think so. I go, well, I got a buyer from LA. I got a buyer from San Francisco, San Jose, Santa Barbara, some high-end buyer. I am simply not willing to bring my client out on a thing. So if I were to take a position with a company, I think we're going to pay you. I'm sorry, I would need to know, what's the salary exactly? So she's say, please tell your seller. Yeah. Well, it depends upon the offer, Courtney. I'm rolling by myself here. And well, what do you mean? Well, if it's a really good offer, then yeah, well, I guess we could do 2.5 or 3 or something. But if they lowball, man, I might only do 1 or 1.5. Okay, Brent, yeah, they're gonna work with you. They're gonna pay you something. I'm like, well, again, I'm not willing to show up with my amazing clients from LA or Santa Barbara or San Francisco, San Jose. I mean, they think, what can you get in LA for $700,000 or Santa Barbara or San Francisco? Or nothing. You can't get a beat up condo for $900,000 and you have 5 acres and a 4,000 square foot home or whatever it is that you have. And I said, I'm not willing to do that. So call them back and find out what they're willing to offer. And she calls back, yeah, they'll do 2.5%. I said, okay, wonderful. Thank you. Tell them I'm honored. My clients are paying cash or they're putting conventional $250,000 down. I'm not willing to work for 2.5%. So you're negotiating with the seller. You say, I got 7 other listings and that you reverse the FOMO. I get 7 other homes here. I'm simply not going to bring them to the house unless they pay 4%. My fee is 4%. The whole point of the NAR settlement is there is no fee. It's not 1%. It's not 3%. It's not 7%. It ain't 15%. It's whatever it is. My fee could be 20%. I could literally earn $100,000 commission on a $500,000 sale. My fee is 20%. You want to sell a house? 20%. I mean, you could be whatever it is. In the absence of value, it's all about the money. I have a client from LA. I have a client from Santa Barbara. They're paying cash. My fee is 4%. If they're willing to pay 4%, I'll be happy to bring my clients by. Okay, let me call you back. Okay, Brent, they'll do it. 4%. Wonderful. I'll send over my commission agreement up front, get it signed in writing that if XYZ buys this home, you're paying 4%, regardless of where the purchase price ends. So it's got nothing to do with it. And all of a sudden, instead of getting 2.5% on every deal, you're now getting 4%. I'm excited about the NAR settlement. It's an 82% pay raise if you have the huevos. Coconuts, I don't know what the word is, but I live in Puerto Rico, I should know. But if you have the courage to do this, you're getting an 82% pay raise. That's the difference between 2.5 and 4. Very few MLSs have 3. If you have 3, still a big difference. And so that's why. I think, what was my other point? I forgot the other point. It'll come to me. But being able to negotiate directly with the seller and being able to I'll say this and I'll give it back to you guys. I have one, you can go to H&R Block, they'll do your taxes for $150 or whatever.
Yeah.
I pay my accountant every year like $6,000. Why not go to H&R Block? Because there's so much value with my account. I'm gladly pay him 30 times the fee. I have one CPA or one attorney who did my estate planning. I think he was $600 an hour. I have another Washington, D.C. tax lawyer I use for international corporation. He is like $12,000 an hour. And I paid him $12,000 an hour because he was invaluable. So did he take advantage of me? No, we had a choice. And that's the whole part of NOR. Sellers need to have a choice. We need to have a choice. You can negotiate what you're worth. If you think you're worth minimum wage, go for it. Anyways, I'm done. I'm excited about this whole NAR thing. The pros are going to do really well. And those of you that are committed to this, let me lower my screen there. Those of you that are committed to this industry will learn how to do it. You're going to learn how to do it.
And show that you're invaluable to your clients, like what you were talking about. Yeah. Well, I love that. And that's one of the things I saw you at the Salem Build event and came away from it feeling this huge sense of hope and optimism and excitement, just like we always do every time we hear you speak at any of the events. And I wanted to make sure that we brought some of that to this podcast so that others can feel your magnetism, basically, whether it's in production or, I mean, let's be real, you're wearing a shirt that says build. You have built an empire. Here's a question I imagine people have asked you. Okay, so you're 45,000 agents, of course you're optimistic. You're killing it right now. You're doing so great. But for me, I think it's a window, right? Like you caught EXP just right. And now there's shiny objects and some other options.
Great.
That's probably the better route to go. What would you say to that? Because we hear it. I'm sure you do.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, average people say average things all the time. And even good people will say average things all the time. So here's the deal. There are about there are 218 industrialized nations in the world. When you start searching around, well, how many agents and brokers are there in the world exactly? India has 2 million agents and brokers, one of these 218 countries. Best estimates put the agent broker population globally at 20 million. We're going to have 1 million, which means 910,000 aren't here yet. It's low tide in the real estate market right now, as in the tide has gone out. And if you've ever been to San Francisco or San Diego or Long Beach or somewhere where the tide goes out and you're sitting in the harbor at those restaurants and you see, sometimes you'll actually see the mud and an old tire and maybe a fish kind of flopping in the water in the mud and maybe a stolen bicycle someone threw over the edge. And it's just nasty. It is a low tide moment in real estate right now. It is the worst real estate market in 30 years by far. This is so much worse than 2008, 9, 10. We had short sales and REOs to sell. We were selling them like crazy. There aren't any. There's hardly any REOs. There's a few short sales. There's a few REOs, but not like that. And then sellers really aren't selling. Buyers really aren't buying. It's a recession of units. 40% down between the U.S. and Canada. And if we were to take 40% of anybody's pay raise, whether you work in a coal mine or you work for Google, you take 40% of people's income just on that merit. And really what's happened is that 40%, the people who are killing it are still killing it. They haven't taken any drop at all. So there's some people who are down 50 and 60% and 70. In other words, they were selling 20, making a living. Now they're selling 7. And when you take away 13 sales, it's impacting them. So the agents are suffering and get through a third market correction. And it's giving another 6 to 12 to 18 months. I don't know how long it'll take. We get through all of them. The one in the 90s didn't feel like it would ever end. My mentor in the 90s, by 1999, said, I can't take it anymore. I quit. I'm out. I'm exhausted. And he wore a suit. His name was Fred Wilcox. He looked like the CEO of Nordstrom's. Fred answered every real estate question. Fred, what about this? Fred, what about that? Fred, what about this? Fred, what about that? I wore him out. I was new and I was asking him a million questions in the 90s. And my hero gave up in 1999. You know what happened in 1999? The market took off. It just clicked and went on this run to 2008. It went on like an 8 or a 9 year. Real estate is cyclical. And there's this huge boom. And I went from maybe I'm in the wrong industry to selling 427 homes every year. And it was amazing. And then, of course, it crashed again. And everyone's given up. And some people got in the REO game, the short sale game. And it was much better way to survive. And then by 2011, it exploded and went on the run like we have never seen till about 2022. And in 2022, it just hit the brakes. The COVID exploded prices. And then things really slowed down in 2023 and 2024. Interest rates shot up. You know, the Feds wanted to cool it off. They hit that goal. And so here we are. And so I'm saying this, agents have been more open to making a change. Recruiting's never been easier.
Oh no.
We're still recording.
Stay on. We'll wait. If you get back on, they
I don't know, but the best thing I heard was average people say average things.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I said it way better when we were talking about our settlement.
You're back.
I got muted. I'm sorry about that. I'm here having an internet issue today. It is a beautiful day. And in fact, I'll show you. So what the heck? This is a casual, impromptu deal. I never lived out in the Caribbean when I worked for Remax. It was the #1 agent in the state of California, or out in for Keller Williams, and one of the top agents. But this is what life is like now. And
Wow.
I have 50 of my friends have moved out here with me. We live on an island. It is absolutely stunning. We're all going to dinner tonight, having fun. The beach goes that way for miles through the jungle. You could ride horses on the beach, swim with the turtles and the dolphins. It's amazing. But that's, someone's got to live here. And so there you go. But
You worked hard.
yeah, so I worked hard. Yeah, I'll say this and I'll give it back to you guys. We're gonna go to 250,000 really quick here, which means they're about 160,000 that are gonna come in the next 2 or 3 years. If you're like, well, I'm too late. First, we were too early when I joined. Oh, no one's heard of EXP. Now everyone's heard of EXP. Well, which is it? No one's heard of it, or everyone's heard of it? And everyone has their reasons why. And if you're Steph Curry, they don't want to leave you the Golden State Warriors and have you go to the Lakers. Right? If you're a famous baseball player, they don't want you to go to the Red Sox. They want you on the Yankees. Or they don't want you. So everyone, they get teamed up. Now, I'm Coldwell Banker. I'm Remax. I'm EXP. You know what you should be about? Your future, your kids. And the best place to acquire a future to build leaders, legacy, and leverage is at EXP, because I have friends who have $3, $4, $5 million worth of stock. That never happened at any company. And then they get revenue share. Some of it is just $10,000 a month, $5,000 a month. But how much is your house payment? That's pretty good. I think by my 5th month, it was $27,000 a month, because I treated it like I do everything. Very intentional, very purposeful. And I'd be happy to come up with a custom plan for the two of you where you could really apply yourselves. And half of success in life is showing up with passion. Passion is infectious. Passion and purpose. And you live by your calendar, not your emotions. And I did this when I was just selling homes. It was in Sacramento, where I'm from. It gets to be 112 degrees, 150. I did open house. I never canceled. Come to the lake. Let's go water skiing. I didn't go. In the wintertime, it's storming. The wind's blowing sideways with the rain. I mean, it's coming out of buckets. Hey, let's go snow skiing. Let's go to Tahoe. We got fresh powder. I never went. My calendar says I'm doing open house Saturday. I'm doing one Sunday. That's what I did. But guess who had the freedom Monday through Friday to go water skiing and snow skiing? I did. Guess who was the Little League coach, the soccer coach? Guess who went to men's camp at my church? Because I had the time to go, and I put in what was important to me, which is for me, God first, my faith, and then my wife. I didn't marry my kids. I married my wife, and then my kids, and then everything else comes. You got to have priorities, and you live by your calendar. Time block. Real estate didn't do anything to your life. You didn't have good boundaries, and you let it dominate you 24/7. And real estate will expand and fill every second you're willing to give it. The work is endless. You got to walk away and trust God and not be a workaholic.
Amen. Hence I have it right here. The book Michelle and I read and we had on our podcast a couple weeks ago, the author for 12-week year. And it kind of along that same line with the time blocking and really watching your time.
Yeah.
You have a propensity to just keep working and working and working and working. It's hard to create those boundaries sometimes.
Give everything less time. Give everything less time and you'll be more effective. It's like, well, if I throw more time at it. No, give it less and you're like focused light. Instead of a flashlight, you're a laser. Big difference.
Well, we could all get stuck in just doing busy work. It's doing the right things, that are going to produce the results. So I think that's where we're getting even better at, is just doing the right activities specific to attraction and production. So,
well, and I believe in this model. And here we are 9-10 months in from moving the brokerage over. And my revenue share is finally, I can see an average, and it's more than my mortgage a month. And so that is.
There you go. And this is at a low tide moment.
Yeah,
I know. This is at a low tide moment. Imagine if the market was booming. It'd be way better. So I'm super excited to hear that.
It is very exciting. And we have some really good mentors in our organization to learn from. But we are going to take you up on personalized.
It's taken some time, it's like getting over the transition and then finding our footing in this world. So what I definitely have learned is to just not reinvent the wheel. Do what you've done, make the calls on Friday afternoon from 1 to 3 or whatever it is. So just learn from the people like you. Do it your way.
Yeah. I copied Elizabeth Riley, Gene Frederick, Rob Flick, and Sheila Fairshround, the 4 people helping me. You guys have Randy Bird, Don Yoakum, maybe oh my gosh, Tom Daves. I'm not sure. Yeah. I mean, and I will help you. I got a message. You guys wanted me. I'm there. I'm a text away. It's like, how do you do it? 45,000 people. I have a lot of leaders. Build. What's the first thing we build? Leaders, right? And then you build a legacy and you have leverage. It isn't, the world doesn't circle around me. And so I'm building up leaders. I have time, and sometimes if I'm busy, I'll say I can't, but it's pretty easy. I have time. I would love to help you guys. Anybody else?
Yeah, with your view of where you are, I'm like, here he is. And he just dropped everything and was like, I'll do it at 2. And this was less than 24 hours ago.
Jumping on with us. Appreciate it.
Everyone thinks I'm so busy. I built something that exists. If I was selling 60 homes a year, I'd be busy. I'm about as busy as someone selling 20 homes a year. It's a nice cadence. I just came from the gym, so I mean, we got dinner plans tonight with Carlos and Rosemary. They're an amazing couple from the Dominican Republic. They have 3,500 agents and brokers now in Florida, and they're, they'll have 35,000. And so we're going to have 1 million. No one's ever done it. The biggest anyone's ever gotten, I think, was Keller Williams with 180,000. We're going to have 1 million because every EXP agent is an owner through the stock award system. And then because we own, they share revenues with us. I think by my 5th month, it was 27,000 a month. By my 13th month, it was 55,000 a month. That's 600,000 a year. I was 52 when I got an EXP. I did not have 55,000 a month coming in from my rentals. I had rentals from my stock. I have dividend paying stock. I owned storage units. I have VC. I got $250,000 into a VC company. But when I look at the cash flow, not even close to 10,000 a month. and all of a sudden by my 13th month, it's 55,000 a month. And then all my friends from other broke, but this is sustainable. They were told it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't. 4 months later, it doubled to 118,000 a month. This isn't like everything you've ever done. And then when Courtney and Michelle will fight for you, they will come to work for you. You don't pay them. You succeed, they get paid by EXP Corp, stock and revenue share. I come to work for them. If I help you, I help them. It's like I call it the love boat, the EXP love boat. We help her. It really adds the agents together. At Coldwell Banker, you just hung your license there and you went to work. Yeah. At Remax, I hung my license there, fine brand, and I went to work. This is different. And don't be closed-minded. Learn about it, understand it, because people are willing to work for you. You don't have to pay. And that is a big deal. Talented people.
Well, and I wasn't planning to touch on this, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. So EXP and Real. One of the main differences I think that we should maybe hit on is the whole 6th and 7th level that's missing from one model versus the other. Do you have any thoughts on that? Because to me, that's pretty significant.
Yeah, it's this simple. 57% of the income as you build an organization will come from level 6 and 7. So that's a 57% haircut forever if you go to Real. But it's easier. Great. Have an easier time making 57% less. Hey, it's not easier. Agents, whether it's Real or EXP, you got to talk them from going Berkshire Hathaway, Compass, Sotheby's. And trust me, when I work for Keller Williams, I talked them from going Berkshire Hathaway, Compass, Sotheby's, Century 21 to Keller Williams. And now it just was so much easier at Keller Williams. At EXP. It was way easier at EXP. So they're getting that what they say, but yeah, you'll never get there. You'll never get there. I mean, so few people get there. So you want to go work for a company that A, is going to pay you 57% less if you get there forever. And we're talking about big money. For me, it'd be millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, that 57%. And for not for the rest of us. Oh yeah, I realize for you, it's just 500,000 a year. Maybe not millions and millions. Yeah, just $250,000 a year. I'm sure you don't care about that. But here's the deal. They'll say, A, they're going to pay you less. B, they don't believe you can do it. Listen to me. I believe you can do it because Courtney and Michelle are going to help you. I'm going to help you. You don't even know Don Yoakum. Meet Don Yoakum, the guy he was the largest owner of Keller Williams in North America. He is so strategic. He's like Elon Musk of EXP. You got to meet Don. Randy Bird, my favorite Keller Williams team leader of like all time. He's my brother from another mother. We golf the world together. I'm going on an 8-day Caribbean cruise with him next week to celebrate his 60th birthday. And he's got the energy of a 59-year-old. No, I'm just kidding. I hope he's watching. I'm just teasing him. But he's got the energy of a 30-year-old. He's 60, and he's a part of that team. There are people you don't know yet. Tom Davis was the #1 Keller Williams agent 7 times since 17 years old globally. Not in his city, not in his state or his region, in the world. He has 7 plaques from Keller Williams. #1 in the world. He will help you. Go meet him. Meet Tom Davis. Meet Don Yoakum. Meet Randy Bird. You already know Courtney, Michelle. You're getting to know me. We work for you. You don't pay us. You succeed. And so we believe you can get there. I have so many people that have level 6 and 7. So A, we believe in you. We're not saying, yeah, but you'll never make it. So if you want to go work for a company like that, you deserve them. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, right? So that's the difference between us and Real, and then we're, we got a 10-year head start on them. If you want to go back in time 10 years, they're not growing in Hong Kong. They're trying to succeed in the U.S. and Canada. They're not growing in Spain. I have agents doing listing mansions in Monaco and in France and Italy and Spain and the UK and Australia and Lisbon, Portugal. I mean, we're in 24 countries around the globe. I'm doing a deal with Panama where everybody's moving over from a major brand, if I would say it. The deal's not done yet, but I mean, you're working on wherever you live, right? Destin, Florida, and I'm working on Panama. Now, what's that got to do with me? You tell somebody who knows somebody in Panama. You'll tell somebody who knows somebody in Israel. We're in Israel. We're in Hong Kong. We're in Dubai. You'll tell somebody who knows somebody in Dubai or Mumbai. And you're all of a sudden, I have hundreds of agents in India selling real estate. One of them helped their client at a small resort, and our agent made the referral, and the referral fee was $1.2 million, so 25% referral fee. And like when I was just at Remax at Keller Williams, it was all Sacramento, Sacramento, Sacramento. And hey, I'm a Sacramento, send me a referral. Send me a referral. I'll give you 20. I'll give you 30%. And that was the, build your database, sell. Build your database, sell. And so few people ever sell their book of business, their database. My parents worked 55 years as brokers, last 30 for Coldwell Banker. They finished. There was nothing to sell. They were old and tired. They were in their mid 70s. Their clients were done. Everybody was kind of done. And it's been 15 years ago, 14. They haven't got $1 from Coldwell Banker. 30 years, not $1. So build a retirement, build a future, build a legacy and leaders, and we'll do it with you. So that is the difference. And Real's a fine company. If you want to make 57% less and say, but you'll never get there. That's what they say. So few people get there. So if you want to, that is the difference. Just candidly.
Well, and I'm already getting someone on the 6th level, and I only have 40 people total. We're already going that deep.
You've been here 9 months.
There you go.
You've been here 9 months. Yeah. And let's say I'm that person for you. I told 25 people in my first 5 months. So that would be 25 on your 7th level within 5 months. And then I think today I think I have 88 on my first level. I've been here 7 years. Referred 88 people. I'd be fired if I was a team leader for Keller Williams or a salesman for a Remax. That's pathetic. But I own it. No one's going to fire me. And then they told people, I think there's 490 on my next tier. And they told people there's about 1,800 on the 3rd tier. And then it starts going into the thousands and thousands as it goes. But all those, you only get paid on 7. My 45,000 go up. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Forget about not getting to level 6 and 7. I probably got 70, 80, 90 levels. Like, come on, you're going to get there. And that's where people are misled, and you'll be trapped. You'll have an organization of 500 people, or if you're really blessed, 5,000, totally doable. But you'll never get paid on 57% income because the people on level 5 at Real have a level 6, and it grows exponentially. Like, each lever gets way bigger, and they'll be there, but you won't get paid, and they can't fix the model because if they do, they have to open up a level 6 and 7 and take all the money from levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and shove it into 6 and 7, which means they're taking money from their agents, and so that will not go over.
You heard it. I know. I'm like, it's a company that doesn't believe in you. It doesn't pay you. I shouldn't say that as being negative, but there are some.
I mean, they pay you. Sure. And by the way, even if all that wasn't there, let's say they had a level 6 and 7, it's still 25% less because our cap is 16, theirs is 12. So there's 25% less revenue share to be shared. So no matter what, out the gate, day one, it's 25%. And then as you grow and get huge, it's an additional 57% on the agents you don't get paid on level 6 and 7. Add up those numbers, it's like 85%, 90%. And, well, it's easier. I go, in your mind, I mean, what's easier, Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers, or going to a gym and eating right and exercising? And it takes diligence at EXP. It takes diligence at Real. It takes diligence anywhere. And so trust me, you talk to us, they don't care about EXP or Real. Talk to someone at Century 21 or Remax or Compass or Sotheby's. They're like, who's going to help me? How does it work? I like it. I'm in. That's what I did. I'm in. And then I did my thing. And so we're going to be massive. We're going to have 1 million agents around the globe. We'll be the first company to do it. 910,000 coming. The opportunity's never been bigger. It's just this low tide moment where people aren't quite seen it. They smell the The bay doesn't smell good. It's muddy. They got the old fish flopping, the bikes, maybe a shopping cart some person threw in there when they were trying to burn down their city for the bad capitalists that work hard, support America. I'll stop. I won't get into politics.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a positive thing. All right. Anyways,
Well,
move ahead before I get myself.
Yeah, I so appreciate it, Brent. And I feel like if anyone's listening and wants to ride that tide with us,
Yeah.
we'll
Wait,
chat.
it's gonna be, the tide's gonna come in, but we're gonna ride a wave, and it's gonna be a 40-footer, and
Yeah.
it's gonna glow. We're 24 countries, we're going to 100. We're gonna open 76 more countries. And it's massive. And like, but I'm just in Fresno. I'm just in Twinehart. I'm just in some, country town. Man, you need to escape. I was in Sacramento where average price was $335. I have agents only sell over $1 million every time. In the Bay, they're all over LA, $1 million every time. I'm like, well, I'm not moving to LA. I'm not moving to San Jose. So I'm going to just sell hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of $335,000 homes. I was happy I did it, but this helps you escape Palm Springs or Modesto or Manteca or Cheyenne, Wyoming, because the average price in Cheyenne's low. But if you tell somebody, a friend of yours in Nashville, who tells a friend in Dallas, tells someone else, and all of a sudden you got home sales kicking out 7, 8, 9, $1 million, and your revenue sharing on that. I'm telling you, I told a friend of mine, and quit thinking of just agents and brokers. Talk to commercial brokers. Talk to title reps. We have many title reps that have huge organizations. They do it quietly. We have mortgage people, huge. They do it quietly because they're the mortgage and title, right? Those guys got to be Switzerland, but they quietly get their son, their dog. I told a friend of mine, he knows nothing about real estate. He is this real estate related? Yeah. He said, I do not want to sell real estate. Brent, I love you, but no. I said, Vincent, how long have we been friends? He is 40 years. I go, you're going to watch my stupid video. We've been friends for 40 years. You don't have to do it, but you're going to watch it because we're friends. I would do the same for you. And I shut up. He's fine. And so he watches it. He get done watching the video. The video is called themodelexplained.com. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It explains the concept. There's been a revenue share 2.0 since that made it even better. So you could call it dated, but it is even better in my opinion. But watch it, themodelexplained.com. It explains everything. It gives you the benefits, and it's even improved since then. But here's the deal. He watched that video and he goes, can I get my license? I go, anyone can get their license, even pass the test. He goes, do you know how many agents I know? I'm 58 years old. I have no retirement. And he'd been on jets. He'd flown around on corporate private jets. He'd had a taste of success, but he lost everything in the '08 crash. And I said, no, how many agents do you use? He goes, I know over 20, maybe 25. Like that was a big number. If you're an active agent, we talk to 20 in a day. We're like the sand of the sea, right? But he thought that was a big number. He goes, I'm going to get my license. I'm going to go talk to my friends. He did. And he enrolled 25 of them. Today, he has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. He does billions and billions of dollars of sales. He's never opened a lockbox. He does not know what the MLS is. He doesn't know, well, that's bad. Is it? Because that guy who knows nothing outproduces you by billions of dollars. He's been on the road for a half a year in a luxury motor coach. He was in Niagara Falls. He was in the Grand Canyon. He was in Yellowstone. He was in, Yosemite. They're going to all the parks. He and his wife. He's 61 now. That was like 3 years ago. They're traveling the world. I asked him today. I was talking to him today. He's in Nashville, Tennessee today, just outside of Nashville. This beautiful thing. I go, would you have ever been? How long have you talked about this RV trip with Carrie, your wife? He is 20 years. I go, would this ever have happened without EXP? He goes, not a chance in the world. He goes, I haven't done anything in 5 months, nothing. And the money comes in every single month. Everybody listening, if you didn't do anything for the next 5 months, your family would starve. You'd be kicked out of your house. Your cars would get repossessed. And you know what? Vincent, knowing nothing. So like, well, I don't know enough to sponsor people. He knows nothing. But he had him watch the video. They're like, who can I talk to, Vincent? And they put him with me. And so you could show people this video, themodelexplained.com. put them with Michelle, put them with Courtney, put them with Don Yoakum, put them with me. You got a whole group of partners. We are partners at EXP, and we're going to help you build a future for yourself that you won't be so stressed out. Well, maybe like Courtney, your house payment is being made by EXP. Even that alone is massive. To eliminate your house payment, and she's been here 9 months, not 9 years. After 12 years, I think I received 3 $15, $10 Starbucks cards from Remax. Other than my commissions, it certainly wasn't making my house payment. They Keller Williams, they have something called profit share, which is way different than revenue share. And I told 55 people, and it was $700 a month. That's weekend fun money. $700, weekend fun money. EXP, change your life money. Join us as we grow to 1 million agents in 100 countries. And it's who you're talking to. And I'm telling you, I cannot say enough good things about Michelle and Courtney. They are amazing. They're going to partner with you. They're going to team up with you. And I'm attached at the hip. Don Yoakum, Tom Daves, Randy Bird, an amazing powerhouse team. We're excited to help you. Let's do it together.
Thank you.
And then we'll not be one big fire, but we'll be one big tidal wave.
There you go. I like it. I'm going to change my theme. That's a good one. A good one. I love it.
All right. Well, Brent, thank you so much. So they know where to find the model explained on social media. It's just at Brent Gove, right? Am I having that right? On Instagram. I know for us.
They type in www.themodelexplain.com. It's on the internet. Themodelexplain.com. They don't have to go to me. And then they call you. I want you to watch that and call Courtney and Michelle. Not because I don't want to talk to you. Set up a Zoom with you, me, and them. And I'll jump on a Zoom. We'll chat 10, 15, 20 minutes, do a Q&A session. If you have somebody want me to do it too, I showed it to 8 people. Let's see if I get the right amount of figures here. 8 people before I even joined EXP. I did a beta test. All 8 joined EXP. Every single one of them. 2 of them own franchises. They got rid of their franchises within 30 days. They go, we're all in. It's that powerful. And like, well, I don't know. Have you seen themodelexplain.com? Well, I've seen other videos. I don't know what goofy video you saw. Watch themodelexplain.com. Get a clear, crystal clear, like, this is what it is. And by the way, it was an hour long when I first joined. This one's like 36 minutes, but it's like half. I watched the hour-long one probably 3-4 times. I took notes. I paused it. I took pictures. But I'm a professional. I'm not an amateur. I'm a pro. I studied this thing. I go, I think this thing has legs. I'm going to try it for 6 months and see. I was simply willing to fail. I don't want to fail. I want to win when I do an advertising campaign, a marketing campaign, radio, TV, door hangers, postcards, farming in a neighborhood, open houses, whatever I do, I want to win. But I'm willing to fail. And most people just aren't willing to fail. Cole Baker doesn't love you. Remax Century 21. I love my broker. I'll end with this. I had a woman tell me, I love my broker. I could never leave him. Monday morning, she called me up. She goes, you won't believe what happened. I go, what? He goes, he sold the brokerage over the weekend. I got an email that said, we are now owned by Century 21. And he didn't even call me. I go, you wouldn't leave for him, but he sold it, didn't even call you. Got a big check from Century 21. He was gone. And I said, you know what? Yeah, I'm sure your broker loves you and everything, but you know what? When they sell wherever it is you work, they're not going to give you a check for $50,000 or $100,000. They own it. If they get $500,000 or $1 million, if they get $1 million, they're going to pay $500,000 in taxes, and they spent 10, 20 years building that little franchise, and they're going to have $500,000 in nest egg to show for it. And hopefully they don't spend $100,000 a year, because that'll last them 5 years. Then that's gone. They're back to flipping burgers. So I hope this was helpful. I love these 2. They're amazing. On my screen, they're over here. I don't know where they are on the Zoom screen for you, but they're amazing. Talk to Courtney and Michelle. They're salt of the earth people, and you'd be lucky to get business with them.
Aw, thank you, Brent.
Thank you, Brent.
Well, for those listening, you can find us on Instagram at All Things Twist and Ask the General. And if you like this episode, give us a 5-star rating. We need some reviews. That's it. Thanks again, Brent. We hope you have a great rest of your day.
You bet. You're awesome.